Shanti. Today is 7th November 2021 and we shall listen to the Avyakta versions of Avyakta Bapdada. These Avyakta versions were spoken by Bapdada on 19th November 1989. The title for today's Murli is The Fortune of Body, Mind, Wealth and People, that is, relationships. Today, the true Lord is seeing his prince and princesses. Baba is seeing his prince and princesses. The Father is called the Truth. This is why the age established by Bap Dada is called Satyug, the age of truth. The Father's praise is true Father, the true teacher, and the true Satguru, and the true Guru, that is Satguru. The praise of truth has always been elevated. The praise of truth is always elevated. And so, in the praise of the Father also, he is said to be the true Father, the true teacher, and the true Guru. And he establishes the age of truth. All of you are listening to the true story from the true Father in order to become true Narayan. Baba is relating the story of the true Narayan, and we are all listening to the true story from the true Father. The true Lord is looking at his children to see. What is Baba seeing in us? The true Lord is looking at his children to see how many children have pleased the true Lord. How many children has pleased the true Lord? The greatest speciality of the true Lord is that he is the bestower of fortune, and the bestower of blessings. He is the bestower of fortune, and bestower of blessings. So when we please the true Lord, we please all the three. We please the bestower of fortune, and the bestower of blessings. The sign of children remaining constantly content is that the bestower is always pleased. So who pleases the true Lord? The simple technique that Baba has shown in this one line. And he says that those children who remain constantly content in whatever situation, whatever circumstances they are in, but who are always content, they are the ones who please the true Lord. I repeat again, the sign of children remaining constantly content. They have no complaints in their life, no complaints against any situations, any tests that come in front of them. So those children remaining constantly content is that the bestower is always pleased. So this is the simple technique to please the bestower. And this is why such souls always experience themselves to be full of treasures of knowledge, the treasures of power, and the treasures of virtues, and all treasures. When they please the Lord, who is the bestower, then naturally he bestows them with all the treasures. Because how can a person remain constantly content in every situation, every circumstance, in every test paper? Because they know how to apply knowledge. They know how to use the treasure of powers. They know how to use the treasure of virtues. They know how to use all the treasures at the right time. Then only they can remain content. So they are blessed with all these treasures. Every child is blessed with all these treasures. But those who know how to use them and maintain their stage internally, constantly contented. They please the Lord. So Baba says, the sign of children remaining constantly content is that the bestower is always pleased. And this is why such souls always experience themselves to be full of the treasures of knowledge, the treasures of power, and the treasures of virtues and all treasures. They would never consider themselves to be empty of the treasures. They would never be deprived of any virtues, powers, or deep secrets of knowledge because they know how to use them. So they can never be deprived of any virtues, powers, or deep secrets of knowledge because the more they know how to apply, they increase that treasure. They are able to use them in a proper manner. So they increase. They are not just using it, but they are multiplying it. They might have a percentage in terms of virtues and powers, but it wouldn't be possible for such souls not to have any virtue or power. According to the time some children say, I have all other powers, but I don't have this particular power or virtue. Sometimes some children complain, I have all the powers, but this power is the only power that I lack, or this virtue is the virtue I lack. So the words don't have would be forbidden to them. It is as though it is not in the dictionary. It is forbidden. They can't ever say that I don't have this. It may be percentage wise that some virtues are less in percentage, some virtues are more in percentage, but Baba says they would never ever say, I don't have this. So, don't have would be forbidden to them. Such children of the bestower would always be wealthy, that is, they would be full and overflowing. The other praise, the other praise of being Bhagyavidata, bestower of fortune. The other praise of Baba is bestower of fortune. The sign of pleasing the bestower of fortune is that a star of fortune would always be sparkling on each forehead of those children who are master bestowers of fortune. So when they please the bestower of fortune, it is as though the star of fortune would be always sparkling on their forehead. That is, the spiritual sparkle would always be visible on their faces and in their forms. In their forms, you would always see the features of someone who is constantly happy. In their features, Baba says, you will see that they are constantly happy. And on their face, you would always experience a spiritual character. So the spiritual sparkle will be seen on their faces and in their forms. On the face, there would be constantly happiness and they would experience the spiritual character in them. This is called a star of fortune, sparkling on their foreheads. They will experience their fortune in all four aspects. Those souls will experience their fortune in all four aspects. And which are the four aspects? Body, mind, wealth, and relationships. They would not lack any aspect of fortune. It would not be that they say, I experienced the fortune of three things, but not of one. Like all the four fortunes, all the four aspects of their fortune will be sparkling. The first fortune, the fortune of the body. The karmic accounts of their bodies would never be experienced as an obstacle in their attainment or on the path of effort. Naturally, there is an account of karmic accounts from so many births of the past. So Baba says those karmic accounts of their bodies would be never experienced as if they are being an obstacle in their attainment or on the path of effort. Their bodies would never allow them to be deprived of doing service. They would never ever complain, oh, because of this karmic account, I'm not able to do service. They will never be deprived of doing service. They will be never having this complaint of experiencing an obstacle, their bodies, karmic accounts being obstacles on their path of attainment or the path of effort. They would be doing service in some way or the other. If not through the mind, through the body. If not through the body, then through the wealth, through their time, through their intellect, in some way or the other. Even at a time of suffering due to karma, such fortunate souls would become instruments in one form of service or another. They would move along with the suffering of their karma, but they would never cry out due to the suffering of their karma. They would move but never cry. They would be experiencing that this is my karmic account, but they would never complain about it. They would not cry out. So the rhyming words that Baba has used, that they would move along, chalayega, but they would never cry out. That is, they would never chillayega due to the suffering of their karma. To cry out means to speak of the suffering of karma again and again. To cry means to speak on continuously in some one or the other. Whoever would come, they would go on again and again talking about their suffering of karma, or repeatedly draw your intellect and time to suffering of karma. The mind and intellect and the time would constantly go towards that suffering of karma. To make a huge expansion of a tiny thing is known as crying out. And to finish a big thing with the essence of knowledge is known as moving along. So always remember this. For a yogi life, whether something is a little suffering of karma or even a big suffering, do not speak about it. So Baba Srimad is, for a yogi life, whether something is a little suffering of karma or even a big suffering, do not speak about it in front of anyone. I'm going through this, I'm going through that. No. Do not go into the expansion of the story of the suffering of karma. This is Baba Srimad. And this is how we can settle fast. So Baba says, do not go into the expansion of the story of the suffering of karma, because when you speak about it, your time and energy go into that. And you therefore become health conscious, not soul conscious. Health consciousness gradually makes you nervous and takes away your spiritual energy. What a deep aspect Baba has pointed out. When we become health conscious, then health consciousness gradually makes you nervous, makes you feel nervous, and takes away your spiritual energy. Therefore, don't speak about it too much. A yogi life means to transform the suffering of karma, that is karma bhoga, into yoga in action, that is karma yoga. These are the signs of the fortune of the body. Then the second one, the fortune of the mind. The mind would always be cheerful, because the sign of experiencing fortune is to be cheerful. The mind would always be happy, cheerful. Those who are full are always smiling in their minds. Those who are fortunate with their minds would always have the stage of being ignorant of any desires. Because of having pleased the bestower of fortune, because of having pleased the bestower of fortune, and because of experiencing themselves to be full of all attainments, their mind would not be attached or subservient to people or to things. They will always remain light, cheerful, happy, full of attainments. They would never have any desires. They would always be ignorant of any desires, and their minds would not be attached or subservient to people or to things. In essence, this is called Man Mana Bhav. It would not take any effort to connect your mind to the Father. Instead, the mind would easily remain in the world of the Father's love. To experience belonging to the one Father and none other is said to be the fortune of the mind. Then the third fortune, fortune of the wealth. You have the wealth of knowledge, but physical wealth is also important. To have the fortune of wealth does not mean that you will become one with hundreds of thousands or that you would become a multimillionaire in your Brahmin life. Baba says, to have the fortune of wealth does not mean that you would become one with hundreds of thousands or that you would become a millionaire in your Brahmin life. However, the sign of having the fortune of wealth is that in this confluence age, however much you Brahmin souls need in order to be able to eat, drink, and live comfortably, you'll receive that accordingly. You not have this experience as if you are trying to meet your ends, but you can't. But Baba says, how much you Brahmin souls need in order to be able to eat, drink, and live comfortably, you'll receive that accordingly. Along with that, you also need money to do service. So at the time of doing service too, neither would you ever experience any lack, nor would you have to struggle at the time of need. No matter how or from where, at the time of doing service, the Father, the bestower of fortune, will definitely make someone or another an instrument, one who has the fortune of wealth. Baba would make someone or other an instrument and make that task complete. So one who has fortune of wealth, one who has the fortune of wealth would never do service with any desire of earning a name or receiving honor. They would not think, oh, okay, let me use this wealth so that I can earn a name or I can earn honor. No. If there is any desire for name or fame, then at such a time, the bestower of fortune would not enable you to receive cooperation. There is a difference of day and night between a need and a desire. If there is a true need and your mind is also true, then in any service, the task will be successful and the donation box, bandara, will become overflowing. What a blessing that Baba has given us, that if there is a true need and your mind is also true, then in any service, the task will be successful and the donation box will become overflowing and there will be extra remaining. This is why it is sung, the treasure store, Bandara, and the kitchen, Bandhari, of Shiva is always full. The Bandara, the kitchen, and the Bandari, the treasure store, is always full. So the sign of those who have true hearts and of the true Lord being pleased is that the Bandara and Bandari will both be full. The sign of the ones The sign of those who have true hearts and of the true Lord being pleased is that the Bandara and Bandari will both be full. This is a sign of having the fortune of wealth. There is a lot of expansion, but Baba is only telling you the essence of it. In the fortune of wealth, there is so much to say, but Baba says, I'm just giving you the essence of it. And the fourth, the fortune of people, that is relationship. People means the Brahmin family and your Lokik family. Souls who come into Lokik relationships and alaukic relationships. So the first sign of being fortunate with people in relationships is that souls who have this fortune will always continue to receive love and cooperation from people. They will always continue to receive love and cooperation from people. They will definitely experience attaining something from at least 95% of souls. So they will always receive love and cooperation from people in their relationship. And that also 95%. You were told earlier too that 5% of karmic accounts with souls are still to be settled. This is why you sometimes receive love for them and sometimes you are tested by them. So those 5%, they may become test papers for us. However, let it not be more than 5%. Gradually, continue to settle your accounts with such souls. How can we settle our accounts with such souls? With good wishes and pure feelings. Never complain about them, but send them vibrations of good wishes and pure feelings. So Baba says, when the accounts are settled, the books will finish. Then no more karmic accounts will remain. So the sign of a fortunate soul is that he will easily continue to settle his karmic accounts that remains in terms of relationship and will constantly experience love and cooperation from 95% of souls. So Baba says they will constantly experience love and cooperation from 95% of souls. Souls who have the fortune of relationship will constantly remain happy. So souls who have the fortune of relationships will remain constantly happy. When forming connections and relationships with people, they will not have any questions. They will not have questions, but will remain happy-hearted. Why is this one doing this or saying this? This situation should not be like this. It should be like this. Those who have such questions arising in their hearts are said to be those with questions in their hearts. And those who have questions can never remain happy. It is understood. Those who have questions, they are always confused in those questions. They can never remain happy because they don't have any answers. So instead of questioning, apply a full stop. Whatever is happening in drama is perfect and remain happy. They always have a queue of questions in their hearts. This is why their time is spent finishing that question, why? In Hindi, for why it is said kyun. So Baba says, finish this queue. These questions are such that even if you want to drop them, you cannot. And you have to give your time to them. This is because you are the creator of that queue. Since you have created the creation, you have to sustain it too. When we have created that creation, we have to sustain it too. You cannot avoid giving that sustenance. We have to, because it is our creation. So we have to give time, energy, and sustenance also. So Baba says, since you have created the creation, you have to sustain it too. You cannot avoid giving that sustenance. No matter how much you avoid it, you are compelled to give your time and energy to it. Therefore, control this creation of waste. Practice this birth control. Do you understand? Do we have the courage to do this? Baba is asking, do we have the courage to stop your waste creation? People say, this is a special gift from God. It is not my mistake. Similarly, Brahmin soul says it is recorded in the drama. However, become a master creator and master knowledgeful about the drama and continue to make every action elevated. Acha, then Baba looks at the teachers and says, did the teacher hear this? Huh? Did the teachers hear this? You heard the significance of how much the true Lord is pleased with you. Did you not? Did all the teachers become Rajyukt, that is, those who understand all secrets, by listening to these secrets, or do you feel in your hearts that you lack a particular type of fortune? Out of all the fortune, what do the teachers feel? That do you lack any particular type of fortune? You do not experience your life to be a life of struggle, sometimes in terms of wealth or sometimes in terms of relationship. Do you? You were told that there is one slogan for the instrument teachers, but in fact it is for everyone. Huh? Beautiful Yukti Baba is giving us in every situation, according to the Father Srimad, continue to say Ji Hazur, Ji Hazur. Ji Hazur means yes, my Lord. So when we are able to say yes, my Lord to his Srimad, when children say Ji Hazur to the Father says Hazur Hazir, means the Lord is present in front of you and he becomes present. So this is the simple uh, yukti, that whenever we want his presence in front of us, we say, yes, my Lord, to his Srimad. Then he will also be present in front of us. When the Lord is present, nothing is lacking, and you become full for all time. The star of fortune is of having attained both. The bestower and the bestower of fortune will begin to sparkle on your forehead. According to the drama, you teachers have received a lot of fortune. Throughout the day, apart from the Father and doing service, what else do you have to do? This is your only business. Householders have to fulfill so many responsibilities, whereas you people have just one task to do. You are free birds in many situations. Do you understand your fortune? Baba is asking the teachers. You don't create golden cages or diamond studded cages, do you? You yourself create them and you yourself get trapped in them. The Father made you a free bird, a flying bird. You are very, very, very lucky. Do you understand? Each one of you has definitely received the speciality of fortune. The speciality of householders is their own. The speciality of teachers is their own. And the specialities of those who run a Gita Pathshala is their own. All of you are special souls with your different specialities. However, the instrument teachers who live at the center have a very good chance. Acha, to the experienced souls who constantly experience all type of fortune, to the elevated souls who have the right to the Father's help by always saying Ji Hazur at every step, to the children who remain constantly happy instead of always asking questions, To such yogi souls who are worthy of praise, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. Bap Dada's blessing for us today is, may you have the power of accommodation and become an example of one who creates an atmosphere of unity. I repeat, may you have the power of accommodation and become an example of one who creates an atmosphere of unity. When we are able to accommodate, then we create an atmosphere of unity. The beings who are similar, who have love for the one and have a constant and stable stage, those who follow the directions of the one, who are united in their thoughts amongst themselves, are the ones who can be threaded in the rosary. However, an atmosphere of following one direction can only be created when you have the power to accommodate. If there is a difference of opinion in any situation, then accommodate that difference, and only then will you come close with that unity and become an example for everyone. Today's slogan is, imbibe spirituality in your every thought, word, and action, and then there will be splendor in service. I repeat, imbibe spirituality in your every thought, word, and action, and then there will be splendor in service. Acha, Om Shanti.